Hi guys, welcome back to Leave Any Engage. I'm Stu, and you find me that this week we're going to be doing a little bit of work here on this board, and also going to resight this controller. So just to give you a little bit of context of what's going on here is that this was going to be the engine shed, but since I have started planning it out and everything recently, I've discovered that this isn't going to work as the engine shed because we're going to have enough room. So if you have we're basically, I'll show you this a bit more in detail in a second, but basically we're going to need to make this ash pit slightly longer, and the engine shed is still not going to be coming anywhere near it. So we're going to have to build, the engine shed is going to have to move over to where the goods yard is, and the goods yard is going to have to come here instead. So what we're going to do in this video is we're just going to lay this goods yard out. We're also going to have to find somewhere to resight this controller. So this controller should be coming here. This is going to be where the point setup is, or the levers for the points. So that's why this controller's got to come here. And this controller has got to move on to a new panel we're going to build over here, not panel, a new board, which we've got the wood for. So we're going to cut that out, screw that on, and that's going to be ready for that. So that's what we're going to do in this one. And now let's just show you a bit more in detail as to what the problem is here. So here's the area we're talking about. Now, as you can see, I've put down an ash pit here, ready to show you with this. So the idea was we're going to have two lines here, and this was going to be the actual engine shed itself. Sorry, I let go of the camera and it fell over. So the engine shed itself was going to be, the shed building was going to be here. But as you can see, we've got, so the idea is that there's going to be just off camera, or roughly where the controller is here, that's going to be a road bridge over. So really, I wanted everything to stop by the end of this board, which has proved a bit of a problem. So the ash pit itself isn't actually that long. See, I can't even fit a standard 4 tank on that. And just like a little pannier tank or something would be able to fit on that ash pit, and it would be fine for if you in realistic view. So what I'm going to have to do is that we're going to have to move over to the other board, because that's where going to be a lot more space there. So that's what we're going to do with that. Because I really need to add another section onto these. These need to be about 4 sections instead of this one, it's just 3, and a pair of those. So it's really going to be quite annoying. I really wanted the engine shed here, because otherwise now we're going to have a fairly cramped goods yard. The advantage we've got is that because we've got the goods yard over the back, the coal yard where the cattle dock is and stuff, that's removed some of the things that we need for the goods yard, but this is going to be more of the general goods yard and the goods shed. So what I'm thinking of now is we're going to put the goods shed. I've got the actual goods shed itself here. I've cut out all the bits. We're going to stick them together with blue tack, just so I can get a rough size, rough area of this. And we're going to just position it on the board as far back as I possibly can, just to try and see, move that round, just to try and see how we can make it fit and work out the other 2 lines as well. The roadway access into the goods yard, which is what I needed, come to the idea of allowing, let's move that up slightly, of allowing a roadway here that comes around the back, around the side of the actual road bridge. So the road bridge is going to be here and sort of going across at sort of like that, sort of an angle. So that should allow a small surface road that then comes around the embankment and then comes around here. See, because if I move that out of the way, you can see we've got tons of room before we get to the marshalling yard. So there's more than enough room for a road to go round there and to sort of be going along. I could even put some houses, put the controller back now, put some houses on there to make it look like that is the original road, and then when the railways come along, it's been cut by the railway, and then They've built the bridge to connect to the other part of the town. So that's an idea. Could make it look like that. It's quite common actually. So that's one possible theory. So we're going to have to give that a go. So now I just need to assemble together the goods shed, and we can start working this out. I'm going to get rid of this controller as well. I'm just going to deconnect it and put it down. I might deconnect this one as well, just so these are out of the way, especially as we're going to start moving them around at some point as well. So yeah, I'm just going to do that, and I'll talk to you again in a second. So this is sort of the idea as to what I'm thinking of for this. I managed to put the goods shed together with some blue tack. Didn't particularly want to go together fully. Didn't realise how wide it was actually over the track. This is a Kestrel goods shed, by the way. Really nice little company. They're now run by Gauge Master. I think now they produce their kits. But I'll come to Kestrel kits at some point in the future because they're really, really nice kits. I really like them. Anyway, besides that, this is sort of the idea I'm going for. I want at least 3 sidings. So this is obviously the goods shed. Here, I put it on this side, and what we need to do is that the reason why we've got to plan it out like this is because I need enough room here for a lorry to gain access to these sections, a lorry or a cart or something, some sort of road vehicle. But also we need enough room for the road vehicles to come out, because we're thinking the road is going to be somewhere like around here, going onto there and going across. Now the road is probably going to be about maybe yay wide, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more, don't know. So that's going to come into here, sort of like that. So this siding can be a little bit longer. We can put it back as far as we can. This is the main point going into it. So this is just going to be straight into this siding. So that's going to be fairly long siding. We've got a good amount of room there for unloading and loading. But the other thing is we need to make sure we've got enough room in between the lines so that we can actually run a vehicle in or something to actually allow unloading as well. It's not a problem on this siding, not a problem on this siding. The biggest problem is this fella here, the middle one, because obviously we need it short enough, like here, but we also need to make sure that, because the further I go this way, the longer I can make it, but the distance here will then shrink as the more that this point is moved towards this point. See if I put it like here, so if we put it like as if it's butting straight off, although it means we can get a lorry in here now, we can't really use this siding at all at this end. It's just basically wagon storage. Not particularly that great. You could say, well, maybe you could pave the road, which is one option, but at the end of the day, if you've got wagons here and you pave this road, then you can't use this road because lorries will be parked on it. So that's not really going to work either. So really, we want it somewhere around about here-ish, I would guess. So we've got reasonable enough amount of room coming through here for lorries or vehicles to access this small section here. Thinking about possibly putting a crane in on one of these sidings. A crane here could be a good idea because then it means you've got multiple sidings that can access it. Plus also it means that we've got a bit of extra room on that side. I mean, I'm probably going to bring the level up, so where you see the sleepers is probably not going to be where you would actually be able to get close. You'd be able to get closer to that because the sleepers would probably be buried. I need to look at some goods yard photos and work that out. So that's what we're going to do with that. So really, that's kind of what we're aiming for. Really, I think I've worked that out pretty well there. So the next main thing we've got to do really is just lay it all into position. So this is where the access is going to be. It's going to come through here. I did toy with the idea of bringing the access from this side, which would have helped, as it means this siding can go up. But really, I'm literally just gaining that much room, aren't I? It's not a huge amount. It's literally one wagon's worth. So it's not it's not a good idea really. And it's basically going to be adding a wagon to here and taking a wagon away from here, and probably means I can't actually put the crane in properly either. Plus you've got a really restrictive section here, and this goods shed comes with an office. So, you know, where that would have been. So yeah, I don't know. So that would have not probably worked either. I have got a little goods yard office that I bought from Osborne Models, which is supposed to be a Great Eastern Railway one. It was a goods yard office from Wisbech in Norfolk. There's a cut wood. I need to build that, but that's probably not going to fit in here. I mean, to be perfectly honest, the fact I've got a service road here means I could probably put in here. I'm not sure if the camera's actually going to show this. I could put in on the board where the camera is, as the road goes round under the bridge and then comes back again. It's possible I could put a weighbridge and the goods yard office there. Maybe I could just put the goods yard office there, or put it somewhere else, or maybe put it in the actual other goods yard. Or maybe even I could use it as an engine shed, as a loco mess, but I need to have a look at the building again and just try and probably build it up and work it out somewhere. So yeah, so that's really what's going on with this. So now the next thing I need to do is lay it. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm just going to lay the track on this bit. So as you can see, the goods yard is now complete. So we've managed to get the goods shed on. This was a bit of track that was a different code. I can't remember which code it is now. But yeah, it's slightly, it needs to be raised up a bit. So that's why the piece of card is there, just to make it a little bit flatter. I had a few problems where the previous, there was wood and stuff, also wood I glued onto this board. As you can see, there's the odd bump and stuff. So there's a few problems with those, just trying to scrape, but they were fairly easy to remove out of the way. I've given it a test as well. It seems to all be working fine, so that's pretty good. There's a slight issue possibly with this point, but I think I might have to work out some way of getting around that at some point, but I think that's okay for the moment. Given all the track I cleaned as well, so that's not an issue. So yeah, so that's pretty much it with the goods yard. Now for this section, we're mainly going into scenic work and testing as well. Buffers will need to be bought. I'm probably going to use the rail built buffers for these ones. So they need to be bought and sorted out, which is just going to be an ongoing thing anyway. Main thing I need to sort out really is the bridge. That's the next main thing for this section of board, scenic wise. So that is probably going to be coming up fairly shortly. Goods shed as well needs to be built and finished and painted up and get all that sorted. So I might make that a nice video at some point. And then it's just trying to work out what I'm going to do with the rest of this board, or if we're going to have houses here or whatever, and possibly the goods office somewhere in this area. So there's quite a bit that can be done with this now. I'm quite excited actually that this is getting there now, and getting to a point where I can actually start might as well talk to the camera actually while I'm done it. Actually starting to get to the point now where I can really start detailing this up and running the service, running the line, the layout as I would want to run it. Actually start running trends into actually running it to the timetable and starting to set it all up that way. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward that that's actually coming up to that point. And the detailing work as well. We've already started a little bit of scenic work on the canal board for the terrain up there. So yeah, I'm really excited actually that this is getting to that point now. We're moving into the next phase. I still got the point motors to install on this board, but track lane on this board is done. That's finished. So now we can move on to other sections. Last bit of track lane is the other board where the engine shed is going to be. I've got to do a little bit of planning on that board, so it's not going to happen just yet. I probably need to buy the engine shed as well because I need to work out like this, as it's going to be a 2-row shed, how wide the tracks are going to need to be from each other. So that's going to be quite an important thing. So I've got my eye on possibly one of the Scenecraft buildings, engine sheds, but I have to see the availability and price and things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much that for this section. Next thing we're going to do is we're just going to build a small wooden panel. It's very simple, exactly the same as this basically, just for the double controller, which is going to be here. So fairly simple really regarding this board. So this is a section of some of these baseboards I've got an offcut of. So literally all I've done is I've just sketched on an outline, just drawn around the outline pretty much of the controller. I moved it further down so that we can get, so that this is going to be screwed underneath the actual baseboard on this edge. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm just going to have to cut it out now and screw it into the baseboard. So that's pretty much it, and there we go. Let's get on with it. Okay, so here it is, all finished and ready to go. All it was just basically I've just screwed it into the baseboard joint here. Seems pretty okay. We've done a bit of testing on it as well, and it seems pretty good, and it's worked very well. Didn't really show you the whole process because it's literally just me cutting out a piece of wood, which to be fair is not that exciting. But there we go. But as you can see, it's really starting to come along now, the layout. There's the other controller where I've added it in. This is the connections into the controllers as well. So we've just got, you can't really see that very well, but they're literally just the same connectors that I've used. So they're just plugged in. The wires on the actual colours of the wires, the controllers will denote what controller they should be going into as well, as you saw before. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. The next video will probably be the end of the month, which will be the September update. So I've still got to relay the end of this marshalling yard, and hopefully show you some other progress of different things that I've managed to get done as well. Hopefully even the starting to sort out the bridge as well too. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment if you've seen anything you want to know or any questions you want to ask. Please feel free to do that. Welcome to any new subscribers on the channel. I noticed that we're getting up towards or around the 80 mark now. That, to be perfectly honest, is unbelievable, especially at the beginning of the year. I only had 2 subscribers, so that's just phenomenal of how quickly that's changed. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the content. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.